Hi, how you doing? My name's Ted. My friends call me Deadwood. I'm a Philly guy, born and raised. I lived in the City Row home in the Fairmount section of Philadelphia my whole life. Shout out to everybody from the old neighbor. But I moved to New Jersey a few years ago and got myself something unattainable in the city. I got garage space, and I got a lot of garage space. There's a 2-car garage attached to the house, and I also got a separate 3-car garage that just for fun. That's here just for fun. It came with the house. So for the first time ever, welcome to Deadwood's Garage. Let me show you around. We got a lot of things going on, and hopefully you'll get into it, and you'll keep coming back, and I'm gonna have questions and things going on. This is Deadwood's Garage. Look around. Here, let me show you. So, this is the 3-car garage. As you can see, it has not taken me very long to fill up this space. We've been here for a few years, and one of the cars came here. One of the covered cars came here with us. I had that in storage for a couple of years. We'll look at my fun toy store-bought cars someday in another episode of Deadwood's Garage. But the reason I'm actually making these videos is because I've taken on a project for the first time in my life. I'm 54 years old. I have no mechanical skills or training, no metalworking skills or training, no welding skills or training. But I watch all this stuff on TV all the time. I watch every car show there is. My wife is sick of car shows, just ask her. But I can't get enough of it. And there's master metalworker guys out there who like Ian Ruzel and Bad Chad, who can see a car and envision something else. And that really, really gets me inspired. I had my own vision like that a few years ago. I searched for a project for a couple of years, and I finally found it. And it's here behind me. It's this right here. This is a 1939 Sharknose Graham sedan. I'd never heard of a Graham before. I looked up the company and found the history of them, and they were, done by the early 40s. But the front end of this car, which I've all taken apart now, as you can see, so unfortunately you can't see the front end, but look it up on YouTube. It's a Sharknose Graham, 1939 Sharknose Graham. Or look it up online. I have an old YouTube video. I received this car 5 years ago. It was complete with fenders and a hood and everything out, not an engine, but it was just a rusty shell. It was sitting in Minnesota, in a field in Minnesota. I saw it on ClassicCars.com, and the front end blew me away, and I had to see it live. So I bought the car just to see the front end in person, and it still blows me away every time I look at pictures of a Sharknose Graham. So I got this car, and my idea was that I want to create something that no one else would have. I know there's no money in restoring this car. I'd never get my money out of it. So I don't know what I'm doing. Like I said, I have none of these skills, but I want to do this. I want to play with the tools, and I want to learn these skills, and I want to do this stuff myself. I'm tired of watching it on TV. I want to get involved, and I got something, that I'm working on. This is it. So what I want to do is take this, which, here, let me show you something. Here's a picture of, this is the profile of the car. And the profile is just really pedestrian to me. It doesn't do anything for the design of the front end. It's like they stopped designing it from the B-pillar back. And it just looks like a cab, which I find quite boring. But when I saw it, I immediately envisioned, and I don't know how it did, it just came into my brain, that this is what that car should look like. If you stretched the nose much longer and turned it into a 2-door sport coupe, That's badass. So that's it. This is the project. I am turning that 4-door sedan into a 2-door sport coupe, and a stretch nose sport coupe that never existed. And I hope people are digging this picture. I just clip and pasted some, photocopies together, and this is the image that I got, and this is the image that I'm rolling with. I have another one with a little more of a chopped roof design, and the chopped roof is, I also want to do that as well. Bring it down just a little bit lower, makes it a little bit more menacing. But this is the general idea of what we are building here. I am building here. So with that, I have some questions. As I said, I don't have any of these skills, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. Everything I know is as seen on TV. I am the as seen on TV car designer here. So hopefully some of you guys who have these skills will see this video and get back to me with some of these questions. I'm going to ask questions because I'm at a point now where I need to know some things. I need to buy some things. I'm learning and I'm buying tools and hopefully acquiring skills as I go along. And so that's the plan, is to turn this into the 2-door stretched nose sport coupe. My good buddy, Nick DeCoco, has given me, to help me along with this project, this. This was his father's 1991 Mercury Grand Marquis. It was just sitting on Nick's lawn, and he didn't want to see it go to waste, so he graciously donated it to this project, my first project ever. And if it wasn't for Nick, I wouldn't be getting this half as far along as I am. So Nick, thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. You're one of the best friends ever. What a great guy. Gave me a car. So what I've done is, as you can see, it is no longer a Mercury Grand Marquis. It's parts of a Mercury Grand Marquis. And I got the front clip off, as you can see, and I'm taking apart the engine harness, the harness, and I've got the dashboard apart, and I'm figuring everything out as I go along. Everything little by little. Oh, this is how this screw comes in. Oh, this is where this, oh, that's how that comes apart. So I'm learning as I go along. I've got the harness out. Here, let me show you as far as I've gotten so far. Here's some of the parts I've boxed up. Here, here's the steering wheel and the column. This is the main harness right here. This here is the harness for the front clip. This is the middle harness. And then parts are just, boxing up and I'm finding as we go along. Here at the back of the car, as you can see, this is the last harness. This is the rear harness. And this is completely loose. And this is one of the questions I have, is if you can see in there, this harness goes down through the body and into, goes to the sending unit at the gas tank. So I can't seem to figure out how that comes apart. I realize I'm going to have to, not probably, but I'm going to have to drop the gas tank to get this body off the car. This Grand Marquis is going to be the running gear for the Grand. I'm planning to build that body and then sit it on this car, sit it on this frame. I'm hoping I can leave this engine mounted and everything like that, and do the least amount of work as possible. But 5-liter Ford fuel injected engine, I should be good to go there. So this is going to be a really cool project. I just have to figure out how to do it. Will the car, is the wheelbase the same of the Graham and the Grand Marquis? No, I'm sure it's not. No. Is the width the same between the Grand Marquis and the Graham? No, I'm sure it's not. No. That's all going to have to be figured out. And everything about this is getting figured out as it gets figured out. So that's where I'm at. I have the question about how to get that harness off of the gas tank. If someone could let me know that, I would greatly appreciate it. Then we come down to here. Like I said, I'm going to start cutting this Graham up very soon. My boss is going to let me use the welder from work, so I don't have to buy a welder. And that's what's going to happen. I'm going to start cutting and welding this soon. So I know I have to brace this car up, because as I cut this wedge out of this car, it's just going to be loose ends here, just flopping around. So I know I'm going to have to make X braces in here, and brace across the top and across the bottom, just to keep this square. And so I'm going to have to do it right where I'm about to cut, or near where to cut here. And then where I cut here, I'm going to have to X brace it again, to keep the back all square. And I'm assuming I'm going to have to X brace it at the back of the car and at the firewall as well. And then connect all of these, X braces side by side and front to back, so that everything is nice and square. And at that point, that's when I start lopping this thing apart. And the first part will be to, cut this in half, bring the firewall back and do all that. Then later down the line, we'll worry about chopping the top. And once we chop the top, then that's more stuff I got to figure out. I'd like to keep this window the same size, maybe just cut around it and, lean it in. So lean it in so I can get like 3 inches of chop, which would be cool. I'm thinking maybe 3 inches in the back, 2 inches in the front. But that's after I slice it down the middle. Again, the width. Now, am I going to have to slice it down the middle to fit it and add material, like right down the middle of the car to fit it as wide as the Grand Marquis? Because I believe the Grand Marquis is much wider, or at least, a bit wider than the Graham. So that's where I'm at, folks. If you could give me some assistance, any kind of tips, any kind of things I need to know. What gauge of metal should I use for the bracing of the car before I chop it up? I have no clue what gauge of metal I should use for that. If somebody could get back to me with that answer, that would be really helpful. Again, helpful about how to get the wiring harness from the sending unit of 1991 Mercury Grand Marquis. That would be helpful there. And then sheet metal. To make body panels, what gauge of sheet metal should I purchase? I have to start buying and some supplies here. So what should I get? I was watching a full custom garage show the other day, and he mentioned that it was 3/16 inch wire rod that he uses for envisioning wire to see angles and to see lines, and so I'm going to get that. So I'm trying to pick up little things like that as I can. I see, but I don't know what gauge of metal. So if someone could tell me what sheet metal I have to get for body panels, that would be great. Any other tips, welding tips, things I'll never know unless someone tells me or I screw up really bad and find out, would be great and most appreciated. So again, my name's Deadwood. I hope you'll come back to the garage, and I'll keep showing you progress, and hopefully it'll be progress very soon. And I'll keep you all apprised of what's going on. And I hope you're into the project. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks. See you. Bye.